amazing first. Well, I'm so grateful, and I try not to cry. Sorry. I had planned, I met Karen a while ago. We met through kids. And originally I had signed out to be in the Mexican trip. It didn't happen. When she told me about this trip, I prayed a lot, I fasted. And the moment I signed in for it, a lot of things started happening. My husband lost his job. I got very sick. Like all these things against it. But God, you know what? I'm like, God wants me to go. I'm going to do it. Amen. And God provided to a lot of people, to a lot of you who didn't even know me. And that was just amazing. Being there is very different. You know, we, through our devotionals, we were supposed to research Costa Rica. And I did, you know, but now Costa Rica has faces. So that was a great blessing. For me, I had so many, it was a blessing to teach these kids the Bible stories. But on one of those days, I was able to actually go to the houses and bring the kids. We were able to find little kids. And I'm just telling you, this for them was such a big deal. Every house that we went, the kids wanted to go and dress up and shower. Let me shower before I go. And I'm telling them, no, we're just going to play, don't worry. And this little girl, you know, comes and she's like in this white dress. And I'm like, no, you don't need to change. You know, and her mom is out there in the beach picking up trash. And that's her income for 4 children. And it was very hard. But you know, for those little few moments, the kids were allowed to be kids. And seeing those smiles, it was just amazing for me to be able to see them. And it was heartbreaking to lead them. This particular case of this family, Rebecca and Juan, we were able to go and pick them up every day. Their house was a little far, and I was so grateful that we were able to do that. And the last day he told me, so what time are you picking us tomorrow? And I'm like, I'm sorry, this is the last day. And he's like, so when we're gonna see you? So that was very hard, but it was good to see how God worked for so many answered prayers. You know, a lot of times when there was a particular kid, he was 12 years old, he's 12 years old, Wilton, and the first time I thought that he was not paying much attention to the class, and the last day when I was kind of recapping everything, he's like telling the whole story of creation right with me, and then he tells me, I show the pictures again, I like those, and I'm thinking, I didn't even know he was paying attention, but you know, God was using all those little times, and it was just such a blessing to see all those kids. And also one thing that really moved me was the thing of the movie. We were not showing it, that we were showing it. It was a lot of things happening, but God just worked everything together, and it was just perfect. I was actually on top, there was a lot of older kids. I was like in that area. And you know, a lot of things that we take for granted because we've seen it or we read it over and over. The first, in this video of Jesus, the first part that they show, the first miracle, is the miracle of the fish. All the fish coming out, and on all the kids, when this happened, all the older kids were like, whoa. And that captured them right there. And you know, there was a little disturbance with the little kids, but they were glued to it. They could relate to it because they've seen people who fish right there, and they know how hard it is. And for them, that was it. And I was so grateful, and I say how God worked everything together, how He answered so many prayers. And I'm just grateful for each one of you. I'm so grateful for the team. They were all amazing. And just, you know, continue to invest in these people. I know for you it's not the same like when you're there. It's different, but now you have faces too, that you can pray for them. Because, you know, they were all smiling when they were with us, but they had to go back to their home, to their reality, and it's very hard. We cannot even really imagine. So this is for them, you know, like a little week out of a whole life. And they can be kids and enjoy that. And I'm just grateful for everybody. Thank you for your presence, your support, and just continue to do it. So, thank you.
Hello. Well, this was my first mission trip out of the country, so it was very, like, overwhelming, you know, the video. And I thought it was, at first, I thought Costa Rica was, you know, just like America. Oh, they have, you know, the things that we have. They have, like, McDonald's and stuff like that. You know, they have all these families. And then, like, when I got there and I seen it with my own eyes, and I seen the pain, and I seen the brokenness and the love that these kids want from us, it really turned my whole world around. And it made me realize that there are other places that struggle more than some of us do, and it was just so beautiful and so inspiring. And I'm praying I don't cry either. Being there really made me have more humility, and I was just so humble because, like most of these people who live there, they don't have air. And I know that we live in Florida, and it gets really hot, and like we all need air. And like seeing these kids like outside playing, and seeing these families sitting outside, and they have no worries. They don't have cell phones. They don't have they're not constantly checking Facebook or Instagram or whatever. And they're all just like together, and it's so beautiful because like I wish that I could be more close with people and more close with my family. Instead, I'm stuck inside in the AC because it's so hot outside. And there's actually this verse. It's Ephesians 4:2. Be completely humble and gentle. Be patient, be bearing with one another in love. And I thought that that verse kind of stuck with me because it's so hard to be patient with these kids because some of them get really abused, and it's so hard to take the time and sit with them and, you know, paint their face or have them listen to a Bible story or play games with them because they have so much going on in their head that they just can't really get it out. And that's kind of what we come there to do. We come there to say, hey, look, you can talk to us. You can tell us what's going on. We love you. And I thought it was so beautiful. I met these 3 little girls, and they were so abused. So it's the horror of these girls' stories. So it's really touching. It's really hard to understand what these girls go through because they're so young, and it's like, why? Like, why God? Why do you do this to these girls? But, you know, being there really helps them, and it really helps, like, their mindset and their self-esteem in Lord, and it's so awesome because we come there and we say, hey, talk to us, we love you, and they do. And there's this one little girl who has all these troubles in school and doesn't really listen, doesn't really pay attention because she's so abused, and it's like, it's so hard because, you know, we don't know what it's like, but, you know, for her being so young and she goes through all this, it's just like, what? Like, it's just amazing to be there, and I just really love that experience. And this little girl gave me this bracelet. I wish I had it. I left it at home. But it said, Hermano de Tarcalis, which means sister of Tarcalis. And that she gave me that on the 2nd day. So just being there for 2 days and making that impact for her really like made me like tear up, and it was just so beautiful. Thank you.
In Tarcalis, speaking from everyone, that we had an amazing experience over there. We really saw God's hand at work over there, but I mean, it doesn't stop at Tarcalis. Our whole life should be a mission. We should always be trying to tell everyone about the gospel, not just kids in Tarcalis or kids in Mexico or wherever we're going. I mean, yeah, it's important we go there, but it's also important we tell people here. And in the airport, we met this Buddhist guy, and we talked about Jesus with him. We gave him a track, and we had a 3-hour flight, and in about an hour in, I went over there and asked if he had some questions or whatever, and sat down. We just talked about Jesus for like an hour, and so, you know, I just told him what we believe in. He told me what he believes in. I encouraged him to pray, and I encourage him to read the Bible. You know, just, it doesn't hurt to do that, really. Try it out. And he said, yeah, he was open to it, and because he wants to know what's real, I guess. And just, yeah, I mean, we need to share it with everyone, not just in a mission trip.
It was awesome being with all these awesome people. I just want to thank them all again. They did such a great job. Me and Leanne were the team leaders on this trip, and counting heads a bunch of different times. I think I'm still counting to 13 because that's how many people we had, and we just had to keep counting over and over and over to make sure we had everybody so we didn't lose them. But it was neat to have all of them step up and see a different side of them. You know, we see them here, and the youth it's amazing here. They're amazing here. You know, the stuff that they do here, like they were just out painting houses and doing all kinds of stuff this week. We really, really all need to support our youth and anything that they're doing here with the church, because they really are amazing kids. And while they were there, that's pretty good effort. While they were over there, I'm telling you, the connection that they had with the other kids there, one of the parents actually told a few of us that, please make sure you keep coming back every year because you're making a difference, not just here, but in our entire community. The kids are taking what we're saying and they're implementing, a lot of the stuff that we talk about when it comes to anything that we're speaking about, be respectful to your mom, any of the stuff that we're bringing as far as, the Bible's concerned. So one of the things I also want to thank there's so many stories. We could be up here for hours telling you all the different things that happened while we were over there. But just know, real quick, when I told earlier today, and I'm not going to tell the whole story, but we were able to meet with a mother and a daughter, and the daughter came up to me. She had the strength. It takes a lot of strength for a kid to come up and just spill their heart and just tell everything that's going on with them. And little girl had asked me if she could talk to me one-on-one, and she told me flat out that they've got nowhere to live, they've got no food. She has a 3-year-old brother that is going to be hungry because the only place they have to eat is at school, and the school is ending that Friday. So there was nothing after the Friday, and she was so worried about her little brother as to where they could eat. So after she told me, we were able to get with our missionary people there, and our missionary couple that live out there were able to, through their connections, get people on the phone to find the people somewhere to live, and they were able to go immediately, go get a bunch of groceries,